Hello again. I am ready to show you how you can now add your library that we created with NPoco for the CRUD operations, add it to your Blazor app. So in the beginning of this tutorial, we created a quick Blazor server-side app, and I'm going to open that and show you what I did to make this all work. And it was really, really simple once again. So under dependencies, I once again just added the library as my project dependency, the reference, so that I can use it. Then there's a startup.cs file in Blazor, and this startup.cs file has a method in there that says configure services. So here's already an example that is the for every single new Blazor project that you did. It's their sample for weather forecast service. It is not necessary. You can remove that. You can remove all references for it. I just kept it in because it doesn't bother me for this tutorial. So what I did is I just added my own one, and I added it exactly the same as the weather forecast service. So because I called my repository generic repository, I added that. You will see also that it is now adding that as a reference here under usings. And what an add singleton does is that it's part of the dependency injection, and it creates a single instance of the service, and therefore all components requiring this service receive a reference to this instance. It is a little bit different to transient. One could say transient as well. And transient, what transient does is that whenever a component requires the service, it receives a new instance. So depending on whether you want single instance that can be reused or whenever it requires it to be generated again, that instance, yeah, that's up to you. So I've yeah, just continued with singleton for now. So that's all you need to do in the startup file, just add your singleton. And I didn't even bother right now to create additional C# classes, C# files, because everything is already in my library. Good. So then what I went and did was very similar to what I did with my console host. I wanted to test whether I can now, instead of seeing the data in the console host, whether I can see it on the Blazor web application, on the Blazor view, if you want to call it that way, if you're familiar with MVC. So I just took the fetch data.razor file, and here you will see that for the weather forecast example, they're doing a quick for each loop where they are iterating through some data in a table. So I did the very same thing with mine, where I said I want to get the ID and the title of my posts. And if you can remember, we did a post table in the database in SQL. So that's where that's coming from, and we created the model in the library. And now what I also did here was my for each post, and all posts just display all of the IDs and the titles. And oh yes, at the very top you will see I added another inject. So that's where the dependency injection is relevant. So just again a reference to my repository, which we added as a dependency, and I just called it repo for now. If you go down to the code bit, the code section, I added another property, which is just a list of posts, called it all posts, so that we can use that in this example. And then I just, in that uninitialize async method that was already there as part of the Blazor example from Microsoft, I just quickly added this. So all posts equals repo get all, that's the get all method in the generic repository of type posts or post, and this string is just there to say for the query select all from posts. Good. And when I start this up, you will see that just a second. Great. If we go to fetch data now, et voila. Here we've got a new table that we created. Again, I didn't remove the existing table because it doesn't bother me for this tutorial, but here, this is the magic. This is the gold where it was so quick, it was so easy, and this would have taken me forever to write if I just used standard MVC with .NET Framework and Link, for instance, and with NPoco and Blazor, this is just a breeze. Thanks for watching.